Rowdy section, non-rowdy section.
Hello, welcome to the,
No, there you go.
welcome to the Select Board meeting for Wednesday, February 4th at 6 PM at the Hollis Meeting Room at 34 Town Farm Road. I'd like to call the meeting to order and have roll call with the town manager.
Hi, Dick Moore.
Hey there, Mike Harnois.
Roger Hicks.
Mary Hoffman,
Jack Regala. Danny Rumian.
thank you. And now if Mike can lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance, please.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
That's a good one. I like that.
So first off, I want to thank everybody who attended Tootsie Johnson's Celebration of Life. If you didn't get to attend, we had it here in the big meeting room, and it was pretty well attended, probably about 150 people. And they did a wonderful job with setting up and cleaning up, so we really appreciate that. But she will be sorely missed by the community. Anybody else on Tootsie? Now, Terry, I want you to come up and show them what you made for us. Thanks.
Oh, it's
Just a little bit of
a
something.
wintertime project that I needed to have to do.
Can you get a video on that?
Yeah. There we go. It was a wintertime project that I wanted to work on. I had made one about 40 years ago, so I made this one for this town hall.
So we're gonna let you select where you wanna hang it. Because we might need two, Terry. I think it would look beautiful in here, but I think it would also look beautiful in the,
Wherever you find appropriate.
It's beautiful. It's really nice.
Figure in the
Did a
end.
nice job.
well, that's for you to figure out with us, okay, Terry? So before we go to public comment, I do have an announcement to make. I'm gonna step down at the end of this meeting as chair of the select board. So I'm willing to take nominations, please. Anybody?
I would like to nominate Mike Harnois.
Do I have a second for Mike?
Should
Second?
I second can I second
No,
myself?
I'll second you. Any other nominations?
Jack, you want it?
I'd have too much to say. No.
Any discussion? How do you vote? Dan?
I
Jack? Roger?
Yep.
I vote yes. So congratulations, Mike.
Thank you.
You're
Yeah.
welcome.
Thanks for accepting.
Thank you for accepting.
And thank you for your service that you've given to this town for the last, how many years?
Let's see, 5 years.
Yeah. I'll have more to say next
5
week.
years, 7 months, no, just kidding. Thank you.
Thank you.
So I guess Rob's sending me an update. So we're open for public comment for items not on the agenda. Anybody in the public?
Terry, you're on the agenda, right?
So under, I'll have to read that later. Under old business, we have the minutes for 113, 121, and 121 and
Hold on a minute,
121.
hold on a minute, there's chatting over
Oh,
here
I'm
in the
sorry.
corner.
I didn't see you.
I'm hearing you.
Okay.
Hi, I'm Dennis, I'm the contractor in town for the plowing. Last night I was watching on TV about the finance committee, and the salt issue came up. Can I touch base on that, or?
Go ahead.
Okay, all right, just asked, yep. And it got brought up that I've used 50% more salt than last year. And they were asked, the committee asked why it was, we use more salt. Reason being is, obviously, I mean, we've had way more storms,
How many storms have you had so far?
25.
25.
And Robbie, it was said that had the same amount of storms. And you can look it up. Last year, there was only 7 storms. December 9th and 10th was 3.3 inches. January 19th, 20th was 6.3. February 2-3 was 9.2. And March 24th was 4.5 inches. In April 2-3 was 2 inches, turned to sleet, and then went to rain. Right now, we're at 38.5 inches of snow. We've had a pretty much a ice storm. We've had a lot of rain at 21 degrees. We were out there between 12 and 14 hours, you know, applying salt, keeping the road safe for everybody. I just don't think none of that was brought up at the Finance Committee last night. So I just wanted to bring it to everybody's attention that, you know, that's why we have used a lot of salt. You know, we've had a lot more storms, obviously.
I thought, Dick, you had checked with area towns and we were right in sync with what everybody else has been using.
Yeah, I did, and I did actually mention, I got the number wrong, but I did mention last night that there were far more weather events in this early winter than in prior years, and they were crazy ones. A lot of ice, a lot of rain, freezing, thawing, refreezing, and I did comment as well that neighboring communities are in a very tight situation as we are right now, although I think ours is soon to be remedied, according to Rob's recent comments, that a couple of them are totally out of salt. And as I think I mentioned last night as well, I was in Portsmouth over the weekend, and that mountain of salt that usually is along 95 is no longer there. But I maybe had the number wrong, but I did reference that you had an extraordinarily large number of weather events to deal with.
It was said that, you know, that Robbie had the same amount as I did, storm-wise, and then that he was 50% less salt, which there's no way. I mean, he only had 7 storms last year.
So
And
Rob,
you can Google it.
right, so Rob did send me a note. He said that, because people asked last night, so he said that we started out this year with 200 tons of salt in the barn. They've purchased 1,200 tons of salt to date. Currently, they have 100 tons of salt in the barn. The contractor has used 1,300 tons of salt over 19 storms. This is 68 tons of salt per storm. Last year, we averaged 45.8 tons of salt per storm. 1,100 tons of salt used for 24 storms. If my math is correct, that means the contractor is using 50% more salt per storm on average over the previous contract. Then he goes on, but I can't pull it up. So he wanted to ask if we would approve for another purchase order for an additional $50,000 to max out the 15% overrun authority, because he would feel more comfortable if we had the purchase order signed, and that if we didn't then use that money, it would go back into the fund. He said that will purchase another 600 tons of salt at $82.83 per ton if needed. And he says, your guess is as good as mine on whether we will need it, but the town is under contract to provide salt and sand for the plow contract. So do we want to have a discussion about salt right now, or do we
Well,
want to?
first, on my question is, did the paperwork get presented to the Finance Committee last night for the additional $35,000?
It did. Yes,
Okay.
it did, and they approved it.
So I was the one that voted no when they presented the $89,000.
Right. And so what
Because
is,
right now, we had 1,200. At the time, we had 180 ton that hadn't been bought, and there was 300 ton in reserve for a total of 1,500 ton.
right. But his request when I saw him this afternoon was that he would feel more comfortable if we had a purchase order signed, so that if he needed to order, he didn't have to run around and we could have the finance committee approve it next week.
Well, I'd rather wait and see if we have to. Because, you know, $89,000 is a large sum of money.
Well, it doesn't mean
I
yet.
agreed to the $35,000 to buy the extra 300 ton, buying salt only.
Right, and that's what we put on the thing. But you had also, what he told me the day after we signed the 35,000 was that you said you might consider another 50. And I just feel like we need to be proactive and be able to get salt if we need it.
And then I just watched the news tonight. Once we get past the 14th, we're supposed to have a warming trend. So I'd say I'd wait a couple of weeks and see how the storm systems go.
So what does everybody else think? Dan?
You know, I think it's one of those things where we either buy it this year and don't use it, and then we can use it next year and try to save money on that end. It's kind of, salt doesn't disappear, and I wouldn't think that, you know, we're locked in with a state contract price for this year. Who knows what's going to happen next year? I mean, prices of, I haven't seen any prices except for eggs go down, you know.
You can run into a problem stockpiling salt and let it sit for a whole year. It can clump up, and then when they put it in the truck, it can cause some problems. That's the only thing I have with it.
But don't how we get the salt, we get the salt raw, and then we mix it all with the minus magic, and so it gets all churned up, right?
No,
Before it goes to the
sometimes they
truck.
stockpile the salt, and the salt stays separate, it's not mixed, not treated.
Well, I think what Rob was saying, and maybe Dick knows this better than I do, was that, you know, it's a process. You have to, you know, have a purchase order to be able to show Morton Salt that you can pay for the salt. And he feels very strongly that if we have a purchase order approved and he can use if he needs it, he has no intention of using it if he doesn't need to.
That's what I'm focusing on is his statement. He's not asking to spend $50,000 more. He's asking for the ability to quickly act when he needs to.
Right.
If he needs to
Right.
at all.
Right.
He's not even asking to pre-purchase for the next year, though I am with Dan, and maybe you can convince me that salt doesn't last a year and can clump up, but, you know, pre-purchasing for whatever, salt doesn't go bad. I'm with Dan with that, but I'm more for this because what Robbie's saying is like, I want to be able to act quickly when I need to, if I need to, and I don't see, we're not spending the money. We're just allocating the money, right?
Right. That was my understanding.
Can I ask a question?
Sure. Thank you, Dennis.
Becky Bowley, Timber Lane. I'm Rob's sister. So this gentleman has dealt with a lot of clipper storms. I'll be the first one to say it. He's had these lot of 2 to 5 inches storms that the clippers have come in, and we don't normally have that. I guess my question is to the Board of Selectmen is, do you have to go to the Finance Committee to approve this other $50,000?
Yes.
Okay. And I think what's happened this year is it's been a timing thing. Being able to get a hold of you folks to get signatures and that type of stuff has kind of created an issue when Rob is getting calls, or I know from my contact at the salt pile, that the salt pile in Portland is depreciating very rapidly. And the amount of time it used to be in our old form of government, which we don't have anymore because we have a town manager form of government, any department head would walk into the selectman's office and 2 of the 3 selectmen would be sitting there and they would, and we need a purchase order for this, They would sign it, it would go to Diane, it would be done. Now, there's a little bit of pause in that because we don't have 3 selectmen sitting in that office or 2 selectmen sitting in that office every day. So, I think that because now, when does the Finance Committee meet again?
Next
Next
Tuesday.
week, so we're in Finance Committee season, approve it, and if the money doesn't get spent, it doesn't get spent. It goes to the carry forward balance. But the chairman of your Finance Committee is sitting here, so he may feel otherwise. So, thank you.
Thank you.
So has all the money been spent on that $35,000 we approved? So we've bought the 1,200 ton plus the 300 ton we had in reserve.
Becky, maybe you can read the bottom of this. Because I think he tells us how much he's bought. It's in 2 separate messages, so I can't get to the very bottom where he sort of says what he's bought.
All right, so here's his text. I'll read it from Mary's phone. Hi, Mary. I know I said I could make it tonight, but I forgot I made plans with our new granddaughter and can't change at the last minute. Here is a statement if someone wants to read it, or I'll be happy to attend another meeting. We started the year with 200 tons of salt in the barn. We have purchased 1,200 salt to date. We have 100 tons of salt in the barn currently. The contractor has used 1,300 tons of salt over 19 storms. That is 68 tons of salt per storm. Last year, we averaged 45.8 tons of salt per storm. 1,100 tons of salt were used for 24 storms. The year before, we averaged 45 tons of salt per storm, 900 tons of salt used for 20 storms. If my math is correct, that means that the contractor is using about 50% more salt per storm on average over the previous contract. Okay, let's see. I have ordered an additional 300 tons from the last purchase order to complete the 1,500 ton maximum to the state contract guaranteed price. I have filled out an additional purchase order for $50,000 to max out the 15% overrun authority. That will purchase another 600 tons of salt at $82.83 per ton if needed. Your guess is as good as mine on whether we will need it, but the town is under contract to provide sand and salt and sand. If you read your contract, that says we have to have both sand and salt in the barn for the plow contractor. Again, my apologies for not being able to make tonight's meeting.
So the part I could read was the 300 more.
So I would say, if I'm reading this correctly, the $35,000 that the Finance Committee approved has not been touched yet.
No, it's been touched. He has 300 left.
Because that was for the reserve salt, the 300 ton. Which comes up to 24,000 and change.
Yep.
So there's another 11 left.
Let's hope and pray it doesn't snow anymore for everybody.
Oh, and that's-
But you put the contractor in a bind if he doesn't have salt. You put Rob in a bind if he doesn't have money for a purchase order to order salt. You put the town manager in a bind because he doesn't have the authority to order the salt. And then the poor Finance Committee comes into play with this too. And if we get a storm next Tuesday night, the Finance Committee might not meet. So that's my opinion.
Joe, any opinion on this? Jim, you're
Well, I obviously cannot speak for the Finance Committee, but I can give you my opinion. I think that you have to abide by whatever the contract states. I mean, if you have to provide salt, and if the contract says you have to provide sand, then you ought to look at the contract and be ready to live and stand by the words of that contract. As far as being ready to have more funds available to purchase it rather quickly, I think that's a different story. The fact is we've changed the way we go about procuring, at least for salt and sand. And I believe that's Article 18 of the warrant, where it states that we now need unanimous consent of the Select Board. So that means you have to have every one of these members of the select board sign off on it. That's not so easy. And the other item is that you have to have a meeting of the Finance Committee, which may not be regularly scheduled, or sometimes it's not, not that convenient to have an emergency meeting to have the Finance Committee also sign off. And that's a little bit different than it has been in the past. So I think that having the sum brought to yourselves to approve indicates that it's needed is probably something that makes sense. And the same with the Finance Committee. At least you eliminate that step, and you're not holding, you're not preventing the town manager from doing what he needs to do in a timely fashion. So I don't think that's such a large ask to be able to give, to give the contractor and the road commissioner the ability to act quickly if they need to purchase more sand or salt.
If I may,
Sure.
I think this is compounded as well by the fact that we have been told, and it has been published actually, that salt is on the minimal list across the board. The vendors don't have it. Morton has chosen to eliminate all commercial purchases and is left just to municipalities. And I think there's that is a major element in the desire to have the documentation at hand in order to be able to move quickly in the event of, should the need arise. Now, the bottom line is, do you trust Rob or don't you? And I think that statement resounds loudly.
So I'll just lock it in my office note.
I had a couple
Sure.
kind of things that came up. So if I heard right, that we have 100 tons left, and we're buying 300 more coming in. So that gives us 400 tons. If we got 68 tons of storm, that is 5.8 storms. So
Right.
5 storms and we're out. And if we need everyone to sign off on it in the select board, I'm planning on not being able to come to the meeting next week, being out of town, or in 2 weeks. So are we going to get 5 storms in February? It might warm up for a week, but usually February is the snowiest month.
Yep.
Nobody knows what Mother Nature is going to do, that's for sure.
And the other
But
thing.
then again, it depends, excuse me.
Okay, I'm sorry.
It depends on what type of storms. You said it, that we got hammered with ice storms. You're going to go through a lot more material. But are we going to run into that? I mean, who knows? We've seen some good snowstorms, February, March, there's no doubt about it. How much we'll go through, who knows?
And then we had that one winter where they were out 2 or 3 times a week with that 1:30, 2 o'clock in the morning, a little bit of whatever, mixed precipitation, so. So you ready for a vote? Mike,
Sure.
do you want to make a motion, or?
What is the motion in this case? We're trying to allocate the the remaining 15%. Why don't you make the motion, no? Why don't you just do the motion and I'll second it? Because I'm not sure exactly what to say here.
I make a motion that we sign the paperwork to use an additional $50,000 for salt if we need to during the rest of the winter, so that the purchase order and the approval by the select board is available. Do I have a second?
A second.
Any more discussion? Mike, how do you vote?
I vote aye.
Roger?
No.
Okay. Jack?
What was Roger?
Roger's no, so it's dead, so. Because we have to have everybody say yes, so. So then we just need a very responsive team, so when we need to have the purchase order and signature, we'll have to have a responsive team to come in and sign.
Do we have any contingency in this circumstance at all in place? If you're,
Goes by Article 18 of the warrant.
so if all the storms line up, and we run out of salt, we can't buy any more salt, we just tell the residents to stop driving on the roads, correct? Because we don't have any way to salt the roads. If we're in that situation, we have no contingency plan at all. We don't have an emergency fund or anything like that.
No, you got to go by Article 18. You got 400 ton.
Is this what's best for the residents right now, do you think? To take this risk at this point?
I'm the conservative one in the group, you can tell.
I'm fiscally conservative myself. I just think this is a risk that we're taking right now that, I don't know, I don't feel right about it, but, I mean,
Because
it's
now
dead.
we have, Dan's not going to be available at the next meeting. Roger's going on vacation, so, you know.
I don't go on vacation
Till
until the
March.
end of the month.
I think
So
if
I
we were,
think we'll have a better idea in another week.
I don't mind revisiting this to see what happens, because we're gonna have 2 weeks.
Yeah, but Dan's not going to be
And
available at the
not-
next
not-
meeting. At the next meeting.
He's already gone on record that he approves it.
Okay,
Right?
I'm the one holding out here.
okay. The minutes for 1/3, any other public comments, sorry? Thank you, everybody, for your participation. Under old business, we have executive sessions for 113 and 121, and a meeting on 121. Everybody was in attendance, so if I can have a motion to approve those 3 sets of minutes.
Motion to approve the minutes.
Have a second?
I'll second.
All those in,
Aye.
Aye.
all those in favor?
Aye.
And then we have policy number 2, which is the 2026 holiday schedule, which we've been trying to get approved. So I need a motion to approve the updated 2026 holiday schedule, which now has the proper days and dates. Do I have a motion?
Motion to approve policy 2 with the updated dates, or the correction of
Do I
the
have a
dates.
second?
second.
Any discussion?
I believe you skipped one, B.
Oh, sorry.
What?
We'll come back to it. So, the other municipal town update. So, and how do you vote, Dan?
Aye.
Jack?
Yep.
Roger?
Yep.
Mike?
Aye.
Okay, now we're back to the new municipal town office update. So Jack, do you want to do the water system?
I believe they've been here in and out, and I haven't been around, so I don't know who they've been. There's so many people been involved in this. I don't know who they've been talking to lately. I don't know if they've been going to Dick, they've been checking in with Alan, I'm not sure. But the last time I talked to them, they were here doing what they were supposed to be doing for the system.
Right.
Dick, have you heard anything else?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
Have you, you fell asleep on me? I know
I
people do.
was talking to the mic.
Have you heard anything else?
No, I haven't heard a word.
So nobody from Augusta?
The last thing I-
Controller, Mary, have you heard anything?
The last thing I heard was that they've done all the testing now. They had to come back and test for bacteria at the request of the state. They've done that. So that's been done and sent to the state.
That's the last I heard,
Yep.
and then they're supposed to come up with what type of system
Right,
and what the cost would be.
right.
Yeah, again, I have no knowledge.
And who wants to talk about acoustics? We've got the 2 acoustic experts, Jim or Joe?
Yeah, thanks, Mary. So we finally got the acoustic panels in. We did some design, what was it, about 8 weeks ago, I guess, or so? And so they came today, and they've done this room. At this point, we've got the panels out in the hallway out there, and then tomorrow they're going to put the acoustical panels up in the ceiling, up over the lobby. So I think the consensus is it's better in here. And we can certainly hear now, so I don't know how everybody else feels, but certainly out in the audience, it's better than it was. So that project is just about complete.
Madam Chair, I was thinking we could, if anybody is on Zoom right now that has a microphone, if you could tell us if it's improved in that sense as well, because I heard that was a big thing. Anybody on Zoom give us some feedback about our, well, less feedback?
So was there somebody that
Christy
wanted to
Duncan's
talk
right
on
here.
Zoom?
I can tell you, I can tell you there's a big difference
Christy Duncan actually
between
was there. Hold on, Christy
last
Duncan.
night and today. Becky,
So-
you have something?
Christy,
We're not hearing great on this side of the room.
Christy, did you want to speak?
To me,
Are you can hear better, or you're not hearing a problem, or you
We
are?
sound better.
Okay,
Well, I
thank you,
can
Christy.
tell you on our side of the room, it's 100% better. And I'm,
So y'all move over there.
yeah, so to be honest with you, I'm very pleased. Jim and I were here earlier, and we actually had a chance with Bennett running the system to check it out, and it made a major improvement. And I thank Jim very much because he is the one that actually helped design the acoustics and the way to arrange these panels. I didn't have much more to do than interviewing and selecting a contractor to do the work. And also the window treatment, once that is done on that side of the building, it'll balance out the whole acoustical engineering design that Jim had in mind in the beginning, and that will even be better. So yes, I am very pleased. It's much better.
And I have to say
Can
that
I
I
ask
can
a
hear the
question?
person up there. I mean, last night they couldn't hear me and I couldn't hear them down here.
well, a lot of it is that they talk closer to the mic. That's a big issue too. But can I ask them a question? I don't know
Sure.
anything about this stuff, but how come they didn't put one in each corner? Panel. How
Ask
come
me
they
that
didn't
question
put
again,
one
Jack.
on each corner on this end?
Because basically what you want to do, the idea is to get the first reflection, so we focused heavily on the back walls because the sound basically hits the back and then comes back at you. So the corners are what make the boomy sound, but what we were really trying to do was get the reflection out of the room. So that's why we chose to do heavy in the back and the sides.
I was just curious.
Yep, no, that was the thinking.
And I think we missed, I think Christy actually said it was improved. We might have missed it because of audio, but I think she said it was good on line 2. Christy, would you mind coming on again?
Hello.
Hi.
Hi. Yes, that is what I was saying. You guys sound much better today.
Excellent.
And we can hear you too, Christy. Thank you.
Thank you.
And then, thank you. And Bennett, did you have an update on the website?
Before I give an update on the website, I just had a question about the ceiling tiles going into the hallway. When is that being done?
I think tomorrow morning.
Is prior to us opening?
7 a.m.
Excellent. Good to hear it.
We told them you'd be here.
Oh, well, I won't, but that's okay.
No, actually, Dwayne's going to be here then.
Of course, yeah, he's here at the crack of dawn.
Yeah.
So an update on our new website. We're pretty excited. Myself, Chip Courier, and Tammy Thompson went through some training. We are going to be the site administrators for the website. It's been kind of a lonely position for me to be in all these years, and I think that it's very important for there to be at least 2 to 3 people that know the ins and outs of the website. So I'm very thankful that they've stepped up, and we're currently working on all of our pages. We have migrated the old website to the new website, and so we're kind of changing it and tweaking it so that it'll be a nice change for our folks here. We expect the go-live for the new website to be on February 19th, so the day after the next meeting, so that we can give a preview of the actual new website, show people how they can sign up for text and email notifications for any news, announcements, meetings, that sort of thing. So it'll be great. And so tune in for next Wednesday to see a preview and to figure out how to get notified for all the Town of Hollis stuff. Any questions from the board?
And then I'll be calling her every day going, what do I do?
Right, and I think it's important that we open up the new website probably midweek so that folks can let me know or give feedback if something isn't working or if something could be improved. So that's it.
Thank you.
Thank you, Bennett.
You're welcome.
I got a text message.
That we need to
Just a
be
telephone
close to
number
the
that
mics.
You get it.
It came from Bev Harris, I got the same
Oh,
one.
you did too?
I got the same one too.
Okay.
I wonder if the cable, because I think she watches the cable, if the cable stream, maybe, I don't know if the volume can be increased at all for that? Yeah. We'll check the OBS and see. All right, thank you.
While we're talking about text, actually, Ben, I have a question for you. While we're talking about text messaging, this is having a text message notification. This is a new thing for Hollis.
It is new.
And my guess is that the residents are going to opt into this this text messaging, correct?
Absolutely.
Because I'm sure we'll hear about it if that's not an opt-in thing.
Yes.
I almost feel like we should have some sort of, and this is really for the board, we should think about maybe having some sort of campaign of some sort to get people to opt in, in their benefit, so they know it's there. I'm sure on the new website, when it's released, when they go to it for the first time, we can certainly have a big banner that says, hey, opt in. But for those that don't go to hollismaine.org regularly, we might want to think about something additional to get people to opt in, I'm thinking. So,
Absolutely.
What does that look like?
would-
I'm not sure.
Can I make a suggestion?
We'll
Please.
give them a bucket of salt from Aruba.
Perhaps we can put an ad in the Smart Shopper to get the folks that perhaps read that publication on a weekly basis to get the information out there. And definitely can put it on the marquee out here.
Yeah.
And post some things here at the town hall and in the community building as well.
We can make it a competition. Every 10th opt-in gets a tax abatement. No, absolutely. Maybe something along the lines also, like we could look at old technology. We could do like a postcard mailer with a QR code, something along those lines, if that would be maybe something we could look at. I think the communication piece has been something our residents have been asked for. Proactive communication has been something our residents have been asking for a long time, and this is a huge step forward in that. So thanks for all your work. It's great.
You're welcome.
Chip and Tammy, too.
The next thing on the agenda, we did the road commissioners, so we're going to do carry forward questions. I'm going to ask Roger to address those because last meeting we approved the carry forwards for a total of $61,649, and we have a couple items we need to add and get approval for to carry forward. And so,
Okay, so
last night I was in error because we can carry forward from Article 3, right? Because there's a general article that has all of the budget items for.
yeah, I pulled the money out of 107, which is assessing. Now, according to this, it says in order to carry forward, it is by article. Now, if you look at Article 3,
Which I can't find right now, but.
Article 3 lists
Article
everything
3
that involves operations.
Has everything from admin to code enforcement officer, so it's 0100 through 2500, so.
So the overage insurance, as long as we don't spend the 1.8 million and change, we can do it. It's already appropriated money. So it's $1,816,000. $16,720. As long as you don't go over, and that's your article, these are your subsections. So, clearing that up for hopefully that.
So then
We
I-
missed $10,000 when I did everything. I did the carry forward, sent it to everybody, and we forgot one, and that was the payroll. What is it, Paytex? Is that?
Paper trails.
Paper trails. So now I've got to make a new one totaling, I got to add 10,000, so it's actually 71,649 instead of the 61,649.
And then the other question that came up last night was where do we get the money to pay for the deficits?
The
in
deficits?
Insurance and the treasurer
Yeah,
account.
it's in the same article.
Okay, so
So if you go over on insurance, as long as we do not expend $1,816,720, that's where your shortages come from. I know there was a shortage of $346 in the treasurer. And I think it was a Kerry thing, Dick, you had sent me an email, and I think on those two numbers, I made it in one spot, but forgot to put it in the other spot. So it was actually, I think if you add the 50 or subtract the 50 from the 49, whatever it was, it will come out to probably about $346, or roughly close to that.
Okay.
Okay.
I think I found it, but every time I think I found it, I think I lose it too, so I gotta go back. I know what you're talking about, and I believe we'll get there.
Yeah,
Not
I
there yet,
had
but
done
we'll
it
get-
on the big sheet that Joe had asked for, the breakdown of each individual. And I forgot to transfer the number over to the actual sheet.
The budget consideration.
Right.
Yep.
So, hey, I make a mistake here and there. but
So my
hopefully-
question remains, where we approved the carry forward of 61,649 last time, do we need to now,
We gotta make a new motion
a
for
new
this,
motion for
for the
the,
71,649. So I make a motion that we, total carry forwards for 71,649. That should cover everything, including the paper trails that I inadvertently left off.
so that includes the paper trails, but does it include the insurance and the treasurer?
That's a deficit, so it's gonna have to come out of that money anyway, so
All right. So we have a motion?
unless you want me to include it, I can do that. Plus, to cover the deficits of 39,706. So that's the whole thing. We're
Okay.
carrying forward 71,649, and then we have deficit to make up the 39,706. The majority of that was in the health insurance area.
Okay, so we have a motion.
Second.
We have a second. Any more discussion? How do you vote, Mike?
Aye.
Roger?
Aye.
Jack? Dan?
Yes.
I vote yes. So that clears that up. Thank you very much.
Clears
Thank
that
you
up.
very much. Okay, under new business, we have a retirement and a reappointment. So I was hoping Martha would be here, but she's not. So, we have a retirement letter for Martha. The Select Board would like to acknowledge that we accept your retirement letter dated January 21st, 2026. Your letter states that your last day will be February 4th, 2026. The Select Board would like to formally approve your retirement beginning February 4th, 2026. You have been a valuable asset since you started working for the town of Hollis many years ago as a selectman, and then for the past many years as our town clerk, Register of Voters, and Freedom of Access Officer. The insight and willingness to research and investigate any questions raised by residents town employees and committee and board members has been noteworthy and deeply appreciated. Your thorough research and reviewing all aspects of our concerns will be sorely missed by all. Your presence will also be missed. Thank you from all of us, and we wish you the best. So we'll be signing this letter tonight. And then we
Gonna make a motion on that.
make a motion
Yeah,
to
I'd
accept.
like to wish Martha a great retirement, and I'm making the motion that we accept her resignation letter.
I'll second.
Resignation retirement letter, let's put it that way.
I'll second it. All those in favor?
Aye.
And then we're going to do an appointment for Crystal Gaudet, who's been covering the town clerk office. Appointment as interim town clerk, interim register of voters, election clerk, and interim freedom of information officer. And her letter says, upon acceptance of Martha Hoff's retirement and departure from employment on February 4th, 2026, the Select Board and Town Manager would like you to step down from your current roles as Deputy Town Clerk and Deputy Register of Voters, and with your acceptance, be appointed as Interim Town Clerk, Interim Register of Voters, Election Clerk, and Interim Freedom of Information Officer through June 9th, 2026. These appointments will formally commence on February 5th, 2026. As the appointed interim town clerk, interim register of voters, election clerk, election clerk, and interim freedom of information officer, you will report to Richard Moran, town manager. You will receive the approved pay and benefits as a salaried employee under the position of town clerk, as stated on the June 10th, 2025 warrant, voted in and approved by the town. The municipal official position of town clerk will be determined at the election to be held on the 9th of June, 2026. Thank you for your flexibility and willingness to take on these roles. We appreciate your hard work and dedication to our town. And she really has, as a deputy clerk, stepped up the plate. She got all the dog licenses on the computer as requested by the state, and just has done a wonderful job. So I'm very happy that she's willing to accept the position. I need a motion.
Motion to appoint Crystal Gaudet as interim town clerk, Register of Voters, and Freedom of Information Officer.
Second.
And so we have formal, appointment papers for all three of those positions. So if I could read them, or we could just say that we have approved them.
Okay. Do we have an interim clerk? Oh, nope. Answered my own question, never mind. No, we need a notary. We have one sitting over there.
Have a what?
Notary.
And then I was wondering, Mike, if you could read this in honor of Martha for me. It's fairly long, but I think it's really worthwhile reading at this time. Thank you.
I'll read this, but I also said, I think we need to vote. Did we not vote?
we didn't
We
let's
seconded
vote.
it, but we didn't vote, so.
How do you vote, Mike?
I vote aye.
Aye.
Roger? Jack?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you.
No. I'll also say that Martha explicitly told us not to make a fuss over her.
Well, sometimes you don't get your wish.
Exactly, and I was going to say, I'm glad we are.
Make a fuss over
I'm
Martha.
psyched that we're not appeasing her in this case. So the town of Hollis is proud to recognize and celebrate the extraordinary career of Martha Huff, who has dedicated nearly 3 decades of service to our community in various elected, appointed, and professional capacities. Martha's journey of public service began in June of 1997 when she was elected as Selectman, Assessor, and Overseer of the Poor for the town of Hollis, serving two terms, 6 years total. During her time as Selectman, she represented Hollis on the Poland Spring Committee and the Sports Complex Committee, and served for several years as one of Hollis's representatives on the Southern Maine Regional Planning Commission. Her key accomplishments also included overseeing a town-wide property reevaluation, assigning an E911 numbers to every residence, updating the tax maps, establishing a tax increment financing, a TIF, district in partnership with Poland Spring, and hiring Hollis's first municipal fire chief, Rod Carpenter. Wow, she had that much to do with the TIF, huh? That's pretty, it's so important. That's like one of the most, it's remarkable, it really is. Martha, if you're here, feel free to come down if she's in the building. Martha collaborated closely with fellow selectmen, including Sylvia Smith, Mark Goodwin, Philip Weymouth III, Ryan Atkinson, and Ben Severance, as well as Deputy Robin Bishop through the York County Sheriff's Office. Martha also attended the municipal leadership class through the Maine Municipal Association, which is the MMA, and the Muskie School, along with numerous MMA training sessions in assessing tax collection, treasury, general assistance, and the town clerk's responsibilities. She also qualified as Maine Certified Assessor in 2003. From 2003 to 2012, Martha served as the General Assistance Caseworker in the City of Biddeford's Health and Welfare Office. She returned to Hollis in February 2013 as the town clerk, and following the passing of longtime clerk Claire Dunn. She successfully ran for elected position in June of that year and continued to hold subsequent terms. Martha briefly assisted during the COVID-19 period as General Assistance Caseworker in the City of Saco. She also served as Hollis's General Assistance Caseworker. She has been the town's Freedom of Information Officer since 2014 and became the Register of Voters in 2016. In 2024, Martha became a Certified Clerk of Maine with the Maine Town and Clerks Association, which acknowledges the professional expertise in municipal administration requires a combination of at least 5 years of extensive education, experience, and training. For all of these roles and more, Martha fulfilled them with dedication and deep commitment to the residents of Hollis. Her career reflects a passion for local government, continuous municipal education, and helping community members through essential services in welfare, elections, vital records, and more. Her services touched countless lives and helped shape the town of Hollis into the community it is today. The town of Hollis extends its deepest gratitude to Martha for her contributions and wishes her a joyful, well-deserved retirement filled with rest, family, I'm going to add grandchildren,
Here she comes.
sewing, new adventures. Get in here, Martha. Come in here. Thank you, Martha, for your years of exemplary service to Hollis and southern Maine.
I was waiting till 7 in case I had a customer down there.
Martha, I have to thank you personally for all the general assistance.
Oh, I didn't give you any general assistance training, though,
mean-
that's the thing, so.
I mean, anytime I have a question, I can go to Martha. If I'm nervous about what I've done or the advice I've given or not doing something I thought maybe I should, I can go to Martha, and she's always very supportive, so thank you.
Thank you.
And I figured she wanted to give us a dog registration update.
Yeah. No, thank you, Mike. That was very nice. I do want to say that I've had the opportunity to work with some really fantastic people. And I do appreciate having the opportunity to work with our first town manager, Dick Moore, and I think that was a great move for Hollis. And I would be very reluctant if I didn't recognize Bennett Flinner, who keeps this place running. I mean, she is amazing. 100% of the time. If she has a bad day, you'd never know it. So I can't, we all thank her as employees. We really appreciate her very much. And I wish Crystal Gaudette the very best. She's awesome. Dick came in today with a letter that I'd sent out, and he goes, we have a little problem. I go, nope, she's already found it. She'll get it fixed and mailed out tomorrow. So, and that was, we do 2 selectmen running in June for 3-year terms, and I had those wrong and the wrong dates. So she'll get those corrected. She's going to do fine. Her mind and her fingers and her eyes all work together, so it's going to be a great move for the town. So I thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
Martha. I said this before, I have a feeling that's not the last time you'll be at the podium. and in different capacity in the future. Yep.
Now, aren't you famous for the, I just have one more thing? And the next thing on the agenda is a use application for the meeting room for B Business from Boulder Ridge Neighborhood Meeting on Saturday, 3/28/26 from 10 to 12. Because they want to have a neighborhood meeting of about 25 individuals to discuss possible road associations. The biggest concern I have is it's a weekend, so somebody would have to be around to let them in and close the doors, and so I don't know what people's thoughts are. It's the weekend of the 28th of March.
Now they want to use this big room here. Well, we've normally opened our buildings for people to use. We've done it with the community building, and this is segregated and allowed from the other portion of the building, so.
So it would basically be someone committing to be available to open and close the building for them.
Yeah, we do it for other people, I would say yes. We'll have to figure out who's gonna do that.
Okay.
I don't have a key to the building, so
Nor
or
do
is it
I.
only code?
You can do code.
Yeah,
It'd just be fast to get to the alarm panel,
with it out front,
either one.
okay. Yeah, so it's just a matter of whoever's gonna
So
be
that needs to be-
available for that to do it.
And now we have one of our favorite people who's been sitting in the background waiting for this opportunity. Terry, do you want to come up and present your request?
Hi, Terry Walters, Oxford Drive. Several weeks ago, I spoke to you about Policy 5, and I said that the town is growing, our budgets are increasing, we've made a big investment in this building, a big investment in changing town government and hiring a town manager. And we must run this town as efficiently as we can. We have to be as professional and businesslike as possible. So one concern I have is looking at the town's organizational chart. The road commissioner, the town clerk, the tax collector, and the treasurer are elected and basically independent of the town manager. The code enforcement, the rec department, the fire department, and others are hired, and they report directly to the town manager. Well, this would be like the school department if the English and history department reported to the superintendent, and the math and science department were independent. In all businesses, department heads have to report to the CEO or the president. That's the proper chain of command, and that's the way things are done efficiently. Just look what happened here tonight. Martha retired. Crystal's been trained, very competent people. We're very, very fortunate to have them. But what if Crystal were to lose in an election? We would then probably not have the most qualified candidate, we'd have the most popular candidate. And all the training we've done would have gone to waste. I didn't talk to the department heads what they thought about my proposal, but it would seem to me they would prefer to be hired and not have to run for re-election every 3 years and not know what the future would be. So I'm asking the Select Board to appoint a committee of volunteers to study this issue. The committee would have the authority to write a draft ordinance, and if it felt appropriate to do so, the ordinance would transition the town clerk, the tax collector, the treasurer, and the road commissioner to hired positions at the end of their terms. The draft ordinance will be submitted to the Select Board for review and placed on the ballot if at the Select Board's discretion. Thank you.
So Terry, I just have a question for you. So what would you, you know how we have the 5-member select board, yada, yada, yada committee? What would you like your committee,
Excuse me?
what would you like your committee to be called?
I think as long as we had an odd number of people.
No, what would you like them to be called first,
Oh,
and how many people
the name
do
of
you
it?
think? Yep.
That's a good question, the name of it.
And how many people would you like on it?
I wouldn't care how many people, as long as it was an odd number. And I would say open it up to volunteers, and if you get volunteers, appoint them to the committee, because there might be people who have opposite opinions, and that would be good to have, so.
So you're thinking kind of
As
like
far
the
as the
way,
name of the committee, I don't know.
so you're thinking kind of the way we did with the town manager committee?
Yeah. that'd be fine.
Have a lot of different voices, give a lot of different opinions, see what we got.
Yep. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, it's almost like going on the line of trying to get a charter again, which in essence, this is another step towards that.
Yeah, I agreed. I wanted the charter before we hired a town manager. That didn't happen, but I think this is a good interim step to working towards that.
Your charter just takes it a step further and
Right.
defines everybody's role, exactly how we operate and everything.
Yeah.
I know, Becky, you've served on the charter committee before. I thought you were.
Charter, town manager.
Wasn't it back in the early 2000s? I know because I have a pamphlet that said you were on it, but anyway.
So I think a charter would be a good thing at some point, but I think this would be a good interim step. And,
A good step working towards that goal. Okay.
I agree, because it'll take a while to get a charter put together.
So do we have a motion?
We need to, okay, make a motion, we start, what did we call it?
Appointed to elected? Elected to appointed?
What was that, Becky?
A study committee.
A study
Study
committee.
committee?
Do I have a second?
I second.
Any further discussion?
Now, do we have to determine how many, or I'd probably say either 5 to 7 would be an appropriate number.
Okay.
Would that sound about right?
Would you say 7?
5 to 7.
5 to 7, yeah.
Uh-oh. Here comes Ms. Bowley.
Becky Bowley, Timberlane. So I think with any type of committee, I think that Terry is absolutely right. We need to have an odd number. But hopefully we'll have 19 people who want to be on this committee. And why in a study
restrict
committee
it?
do you want to cut anybody out who wants to serve?
That's why I threw the number out, Becky, just so we'd open
Yeah,
this
so
discussion.
to me, and probably you guys probably do need to name the committee, because don't you have an application and we have to apply? If we want to be on committees, isn't there an application? So we should probably
So you
have
got
a
a
name, some kind of name of the committee. And then go through the normal process that's been established where the people who want to be on the committee apply, and then the select board reviews it and tells us either yay or nay, and we move forward. But I don't want to turn anybody away. If somebody wants to serve on a committee, welcome them with open arms. As long as it's an odd number, so you can get something passed from the committee, whether it passes or fails.
So that 12th person we say no to. is
No,
what you're
no
saying.
12.
So we can do exploratory election versus appointments. Martha.
Hi, Martha.
Here we go.
I knew she'd come up with a name.
Martha Huff, resident. I'm going to disagree with Becky and think you should have a finite number. I mean, 30 years ago, when we started one of the first town manager thing, we let everybody on it. You know, there was 19 people, and by the end, you ended up with 5. And, some of them just had issues they wanted to be on, and I think this is a very important committee, Terry, and I'm glad you're proposing it. I think it's important, and I think the work that this committee will do, I think is important, and you should keep it to a set number, because, you all know, and I'm glad that the town has applications, because people have issues. Who was I talking to today about people running that had issues? It doesn't matter, but you know what I mean? If you get on the board and you just ran for that issue, how effective are you if you can't comprehend the whole job that's going on? That's just my opinion. You're the bosses, you can do whatever you want.
So we'd like your opinion on a name.
On a name? Oh, for the committee?
Yeah.
Oh, I think the last time it was to establish an ordinance to appoint officials. Isn't that the gist of it, most of it? Hire officials. It was something like that. I mean, make it short and sweet, and you're going to need to have an ordinance at the end in order to get it approved, so name it what it is.
Okay. So I think we have a partial motion, or?
Are we looking at a timeline of possibly having an ordinance for November?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, do you want to make a motion? Uh-oh.
Becky Valley. So I know of 7 people that are interested.
So make it 9.
I know right now of 7 people that are interested in serving on this committee.
Okay.
How many did the town manager committee have?
I think we had about 9, didn't we?
I would say 7 or 8. 7.
7?
Yeah.
How much is too, is there too much? Is there one that's too much? Like if we said it was 31 people in a room, is that going to be efficient? Or should we say something the effect of like 15? Would that be a reasonable number? Is that too much? Is it 13?
I think if you get a large group, it breaks down quickly, and then how many can make it? So you say 30, and half the time, half of them show up.
That's exactly right. If we make it too big, you'll never get them there for the
Okay.
meetings. I think there was 7 when we did the town manager, I believe, and it was a very dedicated committee, and people all showed up, and it worked very well. So I think, 7, maybe 9 would be.
Why don't we go with 7 to 9, so if there's additional people that are interested.
And see how much interest you get.
Yeah. Okay, I don't remember if we have a motion.
Yeah, I made the motion.
Yeah, to,
We got into the number issue under discussion. So we have a motion.
yeah.
They said it was the exploratory group to establish elected versus appointments.
And they can rename it as
Yeah,
group if
probably
they
Hey,
like.
you can rename it whatever you want.
Okay, do we have a second?
A second.
Okay, any more discussion? Mike, how do you vote?
I vote aye.
Yes.
Jack? Dan?
Yes.
I vote yes.
Okay, there we go.
Now we're up to the town manager updates with Dick Warren.
Thank you. First and foremost, everybody, we're in the budget season. It's in full swing, and we're doing our best to control expenses. At the same time, we're still looking hard at revenue options as well, and everything obviously done in the eyes of the benefit to the community. I probably should have started with this one, and I didn't. Martha, pardon me, thank you very much for your service to the community. You've been kind, understanding, and very helpful to me in this. Well, it's only been 7 months. It seems like 7 years sometimes. But anyway, thank you very much. And Terry, I need to take a lesson in wood crafting. That is the most magnificent clock I can ever imagine seeing. It's going to look wonderful in this town hall. Thank you again very, very much for what you did. So, while talking about committees, let's not let a good thing go to waste. I would like the board to consider opening applications for committee membership to explore our current public services, including fire and EMS, public works, and anything that fits in that category. I'd like to look to the future as a commitment is not necessary, but a plan to get someplace. The discussion tonight probably supports that kind of an initiative, because I think we'd have a little bit more refined approach to some of these issues. And with that, it's, again, nothing binding necessarily, but bring back some suggestions. Jack, I know you've had some positive thoughts in that regard in the past. And again, it is a study committee for public services, looking at facilities, expense, potential savings for fire, EMS, public works, and their business. A final note, I had another note to myself. The window treatments will be here in a couple weeks, according to the vendor who contacted me yesterday. That's all I have.
Yeah, good.
So do we have any discussion on having a committee for researching public safety needs?
Well, I'm just curious, out of your comprehensive plan that you have been working on, wasn't there a section in there that concerned that?
There is a section in there that concerns that.
If you would, please, Butch.
Butch Gannett, I live off 117. I speak as a citizen, not representing the Comprehensive Plan Committee. We meet tomorrow at 10, and I will bring this up. We do have a section in the Comprehensive Plan that deals with those types of issues. So.
But it wouldn't be, the comprehensive plan is just a guide, so it wouldn't be really.
Absolutely. It's not,
It wouldn't
it's
really
not
be
something.
giving you like direction if you wanted to do like a public safety building and incorporate all the things you might consider to be public safety.
Right.
Yeah, I know that one.
And Mary serves on that comprehensive plan, planning committee also.
Well, I knew at one point Neil Courtney did a survey back in, what, the 90s?
And fire safety.
And there was another one done, wasn't there?
Yeah, he copied the first one.
So do you want to table that for tonight and maybe think
Oh,
about it?
no,
and
I mean,
discuss it?
it's just that there are some actual evaluations done by people. I know Becky knows most of them.
Becky Bowley, Timber Lane. I haven't moved yet. So I think it's probably time to have this type of a committee, because you folks are running out on years you have left to spend TIF money. And in the last comprehensive plan, which might have been copied over, and in parts of it, instead of calling Hollis Hollis, it was copied from Dayton, because it would say Dayton instead of Hollis, was to address these things, to buy plow trucks, to buy fire trucks, to buy certain things that, you know, haven't happened. So I don't have the exact number of years for the TIF, but we're between
We've got
3 and 4.
2030.
Yeah, I have that list you're talking about, Becky. And we
Yeah, so
bought all the
3
fire
to
trucks
4
and
years,
all the
we got to
rescues.
spend this TIF money. And if we don't spend this TIF money, what's going to happen to it?
It
gonna
reverts
go
back
on
to the county and
vacation.
the schools.
And if you're going to do some kind of a project, whether it be a public works building, a new fire department, a combined building, whatever you're going to do, off the ground and to get it approved by the taxpayers, 3 years may not be enough time.
Yeah. Well,
So I just think that we got to spend some TIF money, but also when we spend that TIF money, we need to also remember that after that TIF money is gone, we need to be able to pay for what we've spent. And we hope that our largest taxpayer in town, Poland Springs, stays here and allows us to continue to live how we've become accustomed to. So that's my only comment. We've got some TIF money to spend, and we don't want it to go back to other people. And 3 years is tough to have a plan together, get it to the voters, get it approved, get an architect, get all those things, all those ducks in a row. So that's my comment.
Look how long it took for this building.
Yeah. What was the total years for this? 4 or 5?
About 5 years.
Yeah.
5. Well, do I have a motion? Oh, sorry, Butch.
Joe Ponzetti, Salmon Falls Road. Yes, we have till 2030. That's when the TIF runs out. We have approximately $2,200,000 left in the TIF to be allocated. And we have, right now, I believe the account is about $3 million. So over the next several years, we need to plan what we do with $5,200,000, $5,200,000. So I think it's important we start now looking at that, and we don't squander that money, and we use it at this point so that at the end, when we do exhaust the funds of the TIF, we have found a way to reduce the operating cost of the town. And I know Jack has worked on this, and Jack has talked to me a little bit about it. And there is some considerable savings to be made if we do this correctly. And Dick has enumerated the different, accounts that we would be looking at. But Public Works is certainly something we should be considering before we run out of the TIF money. So that being said, I think a committee being formed would be a good idea sooner than later.
Butch Gannett again. You questioned maybe tabling your motion. If the Comprehensive Planning Committee is just going to make suggestions of where we're going to be in another 5, 10, 15 years, if they do suggest that we do more things with Public Works and Fire Department, you're going to need a committee like this to search things out and pave the way. So I wouldn't table it. I would vote on, I would support the committee. Thank you.
Well, just to let everybody know, me and Mary wrote a grant last year for $4 million to build a new Public Works building. But it got denied because we got the money for this building.
But there's always this year. So do I have a motion to have a committee formed to look at public safety and what we want to do with the TIF money?
Yeah, I'll bring that list of what we're supposed to be spending the TIF money on. It was marked confidential. Martha, do you know why it was marked confidential?
What? The TIF?
There was one section of the TIF that was marked confidential, and it listed out all the expenditures on fire trucks, rescues, snowplows. I've got it at home.
Yeah, Martha, I'm going to make a guess at that because when the negotiations were going on, it was done with one select board member and the attorneys for both parties. And I'm thinking that during those negotiations, that's probably when that got marked. And I don't know, I don't remember seeing that in the actual TIF thing, but I trust you that that's true.
It is.
Yeah, so I don't know why. That's what I just think it was, because they'd come back every week with the negotiations that they did, and I can't take credit for that. I did not do that piece. And those were locked in a drawer because it was, affected their business practices, that kind of thing. So it was all legal. It wasn't done below radar or anything. But I think that's probably when that confidential got on there. Or maybe it's a draft, and when it went to the document, it should have gotten taken off, probably.
Yeah, in the original one, it's all in there.
Yeah,
From
and
when-
and I believe you. I have no doubt that it's probably in there, but that would be my guess because the expenditures. I mean, I know when we took it to town meeting, there was, you had the whole thick package and everybody could read it and look at it and it.
Right.
So that would be my guess, purely.
Thank you.
Okay.
So I think I have the motion. Tell me if you think like this, if you think this works for you, Roger, too. I make a motion that we form a 9-person committee to evaluate using TIF funds to create a public works and/or safety department. Does that make sense?
I'll second that motion.
Pardon? You seconded it?
Yep.
Any further discussion?
I think that kind of wraps it up in a nutshell.
I was trying to keep it short and sweet. Yeah.
Good job.
Thanks.
Ready for a vote? How do you vote, Mike?
Aye.
Yep.
Roger? Jack?
Aye.
Dan? I vote yes. Now we
Thank you.
come to the exciting things about payroll and warrant totals.
No
And purchase orders.
No purchase orders, wow. Okay, payroll last week, 34,970. Payroll this week, 36,673. Warrant last week, 53,528. Warrant this week, 190,239. And there's no purchase orders that I have. There was only one. Oh, we signed one tonight. It's right there. It's it's just the
It's for
normal
the,
CAI mapping. It's
For
for
$2,800.
$2,800
so,
that we have them, they take care of all the mapping, the tax maps.
who would like to do correspondence and announcements? Dan?
Sure. Brookfield and Kleinschmidt is reminding residents located along the Saco River between Bar Mills and West Buxton Dams to respond to the well surveys as soon as possible. These surveys are especially important for those with good wells, so there's a baseline data in the event that the well does not perform as well after the dam is removed. If you have any questions about that, contact Bennett. She has some extra surveys. You should have got them already, though.
So Dan, they just sent them out to everybody that was in a certain area.
Yeah, they send them out to everyone who's, I think, on this side of River Road along the river.
Okay, thanks.
And I think some people on the other side too, depending on how close the road was to the river. A reminder that applications for homestead and veterans property tax exemptions must be submitted before April 1st, 2026. Applications and info are on our website under the assessing department. We're still looking for volunteers to join the Saco River Joint Cable Committee, so you could join 3 committees tomorrow if you wanted. To negotiate a cable renewal contract with other town areas. Meetings are expected to start this month and will be mostly over email. Please contact Bennett Flinner if you're interested at 929-8552, extension 26. Dog licenses for 2026 are overdue. Starting February 1st, there's a $25 late fee that will be charged for your dog licenses. Please contact our intern town clerk, Crystal Gaudet, in the town clerk's office to license your dogs. You can call at 929-8552, extension 27. That's it for correspondence.
Thank you. Any other business?
Mary, I was thinking, when we took the vote for the salt and sand, when Roger voted no, we stopped that. We probably, I don't think we should. I think we should probably try that motion again and get the full vote. What do you think? I don't know what the minutes would say if like,
Okay.
does that make sense?
Yeah, because I voted no, you voted. Just
So
finish
how do
the
you
vote.
vote on?
I can make the motion. You want me to make the motion again or make the, okay. So, and you can think about this for a second. Hold on. So a motion to allocate the remaining $50,000 to fund the salt and sand budget and send to the finance committee. Need a second?
I'll second it. How do you vote, Dan?
Yes.
Jack?
I have to stand on my first decision of saying I think we should wait.
Okay, so that's a no?
That's where
I vote
stand right
yes.
now.
How do you vote, Roger?
No.
And I vote yes.
Thank you.
I had a bit of new business I wanted to bring up. Back when we had candidates night or whatever, and I'm interviewing for my position, what would you do if you had a bunch of money for the town? I said, maybe some bike trails for the kids to get around and, not just kids, adults, more opportunity for exercise in town. Yeah, I was looking up that there is a bond that the state of Maine bought, the state of Maine passed last year. It's for trails development, and it's a pretty good match percentage. The next round of applications is going to be this spring, and they have people to help out towns like us develop with that. Reached out to a lady at she's an outdoor recreation planner at the state of Maine IFW, who's like a liaison to help people come up with plans and submit applications for this grant process through the Maine Department of Agriculture, Conservation and Forestry, Bureau of Parks and Lands. So if anyone is interested in coming up with some suggestions of trails to be working on or building, please reach out.
Thank you.
From what I understand, it's a 90% match. So
And do you know what the date is about?
they don't have the next round out, but it says it's like a June of this year. It's
And I
every
know
year
that,
there's like $10 million of grant money that's already raised, that the taxpayers already raised. So it's sitting there waiting for good applications. And
Cool.
here in town, we have some nice properties that we're only using little sections of, so it might kind of help get people around some more.
It might be something we want to refer to the Sports Complex Committee to see if they'll can get a
Yep,
group.
I'll bring that up at the next meeting. I haven't filled out my stuff to join it or anything, but I've been to the last 2 Sports Complex
Well,
Committee
thank you.
meetings.
I know that the Hollis Conservation Commission had looked at it last year, and it was if it's the same application, it's very extensive, it's very time-consuming, and they didn't feel they had the time because they were working on their resiliency grant at the same time, so they had sort of bypassed it. But that might be someone who'd be interested because they have the trails on Indian Cellar and,
Yep, just right off the bat, my kind of dream plan was something at the sports complex
yeah.
for, you go to soccer practice, and what's little Johnny going to do when he gets bored of watching his big brother play, soccer? Go ride your bike.
in about 5 minutes, right?
But,
Yeah.
that and, we're getting, hopefully Brookfield's going to be building us a nice spot down here at the river, and, maybe a nice walking trail to get down to there instead of going straight down the straight shot there.
Awesome
Well,
idea.
Terry, weren't you talking about making a nature trail or something? Weren't they gonna? Do you recall when Curran did this and when they were looking at this property way back when? Back up in time.
Roger just gave me a copy of the original plan.
Okay.
So that could all be incorporated at the same time. If Brookfield makes the original thing and then we wanted to add to it, we could get some grant money, absolutely.
Cool. And the other thing is that this Parks and Rec has like snowshoes that they really haven't been able to use because of not having trails.
Yeah, I just think more opportunity for different types of recreation to keep people healthy and be able to stay in the community, the better.
Great, thank you. Jack, anything? Anything else, Dan? Jack?
I think it's a great idea, but these are going to be totally separate trails from like ATV trails and everything else. I hate to see bikes on the same trails as ATVs.
Yeah, no, non-motorized.
Yep.
Non-motorized.
Okay.
Mike?
Dennis, would you mind coming up again?
What's that?
Would you mind coming up again? I just want to say something to you and your company. You
I have a
know,
hard time hearing you, I'm sorry.
okay, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay, I just wanted to say, the transition's been tough, and it's been tough on you guys, it's been tough on us, and I just want to say, I don't think we've said enough, though, is that we appreciate you keeping our roads safe and our people safe from going off it. And I just want to make sure you guys understand that we do appreciate the efforts that you've been giving
Thank you,
us.
appreciate that.
Okay, that's just what I want to say.
I'm also going to back Becky on that, what you had for storms and what you dealt with. I think you did a good job.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Thanks, Mike. Appreciate it.
And the other thing, I wanted to thank individuals. I know that a lot of people with plows help people that were trying to snow blow their driveway, which was like an act of God with this last storm. So thank you to all those people who spent the time to clear at least the end of their driveway so they could get out. So, and just help people if they accidentally got a little ways off the road and needed to be helped back on the road. So thank you. Roger.
Yeah, I got two things. One, normally the select board gets together and discusses the COLA that we're going to offer to the employees.
Mm-hmm.
Where are we at with that? Because cost of living right now is 2.8. So as a board, we should be
Looking at-
determining what we're
Okay.
going to give for COLA.
Okay, so what's your recommendation?
Well, I'd go either 2.8 or 3 at the most.
And Dick, what have you been using when you've been doing your budgets?
Pardon me, I targeted 3.25.
Is that for everybody?
I'm sorry?
Is that for everybody?
Yep.
3.25.
So what does everybody think?
So
Did you
you're
say the
talking-
average was 2.8?
Well, that's what I looked up.
The cost of
Cost
living.
of living is 2.8, and Dick's been using 3.25. So it's what, 0.5 above, roughly somewhere on that, 2, yeah, somewhere. So
That's a moving target. When I started this process, it was closer to 3.25. Frankly, I expected it to go higher. So it's moved down. That's something that you folks need to make a decision on.
I will just say that this is probably one of the toughest winters that our staff probably has ever faced from a financial standpoint, considering our electric bills and our heating bills and things like that. It's that 3.25 might not be enough, and we might want to look at something a little bit more.
Well, I look at it's tough on that, but it's also tough on the taxpayer too. So that's what I look at. I think last year we made the determination on cost of living. But in retrospect, and listening to you, Mike, and listening to the town manager, I'm going to make a motion that we put it at 3.25.
Do I have a second?
Second it.
Any more discussion? Mike?
Thinking. I mean, are we voting or more discussion?
More discussion.
Okay, more discussion. I don't know if I'm ready to vote on this today. I almost want to do a little bit more research to see if 3.25 is appropriate.
Well, he's making budgets right now to present to finance.
Yeah, I know.
This was
I know.
something we should have done.
Yes.
At the last meeting.
I agree.
And I. Sure.
Please.
Fire away.
Joe Ponzetti, Salmon Falls Road. Not speaking for the committee, but I think it's important for you to probably give this more consideration. I think what you need to do is make sure that we're comparable with the towns around us. And I'm not sure what they pay or what they're going to be allocating for a cost of living. But I also think you ought to look at the total package, that being benefits and, what we give our employees besides the labor burden. And, insurances are going up tremendously, a lot more than 2.5% or 3.5%. And if we're going to continue to pay 100% of the benefit package, that has to come into consideration with the cost of living. And I don't begrudge anybody in this town hall, a raise. They work hard and they deserve to be paid appropriately. But at the same time, I think you really need to know, what are we offering and what are the other towns offering? Pay is equivalent to the services that are provided. So take your time on this. Is an important question. Take your time and make the right decision.
Thank you for that. I didn't even think about the insurance piece. That's a really good call out.
So you want to table it to the next meeting?
I feel like it's appropriate to do so. You might be completely right. 3.25 might be perfect, but I don't know if it is.
I'll pull back.
I was just going on what the manager
Why don't we just
recommended.
table this?
Huh?
Let's table this for now.
But we will put it on the agenda for the next meeting.
Exactly. Dan, give you time, we can
And
research some of the surrounding areas, I think it's a great idea.
Dan can give us
and
his
including
opinion before he
benefits and
leaves.
et cetera, et
Okay.
cetera. What are other communities doing?
Is that something you could do, Dick, by the next meeting?
Yeah, I absolutely will.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, there's that one. I looked into that county GA thing, and I heard the county withdrew that.
They did. It's unfortunate because there were a lot of, I say a lot, there were a number of very positive comments from some of the other communities. So we're going to have to take a look back at what we do here. I guess you're right. Yeah, it was withdrawn.
I missed that part. What was withdrawn?
The GA
The GA was withdrawn.
on the county level.
Well, it was a group of towns were going to get together and pay for a GA person, but I think it was the cost of $15,000 per town, because if you're a town that only has 2 applications a month, I think it was the cost that, made people hesitant. Because a lot of towns have their town clerk or whoever, their town clerks, some of the GA people that come to the training are like everything in their towns, and their towns are fairly small. Some of them only do 1 or 2 applications a year, if that. And so I just think that some of them felt that was a little excessive for the service that they would be provided. So I think some of the smaller towns that were included in the group decided it was too much money, even their cost share.
So how many GA applications do we get a month, roughly?
We get about 34 to 38 a year. So, 3 to 4 a month. Sometimes it's more, more per month. We have a tendency, in January, February, to get not only GA applications, but heat applications, but, it fluctuates.
So then that's why we sent Dick to school.
Is it
We're only talking a few.
30 8 applications for the year, but people reapplying, or is that 38 different people that maybe apply every month?
Right, yeah, 38 that may apply every month.
Wow, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, 38 total that apply.
For the year.
But they come, some of them come like 2 or 3 times, so it's probably, I would say probably 50, 55 total applications. Because a lot of them come every other month.
So
Depends on,
you're talking 1 or 2 a week then?
yeah.
I know that, if you don't mind me speaking, and we're getting off another subject, but
It's under other business.
I know the general assistance laws have changed over the years, and if I'm not mistaken, this last year, one of the laws that's changed, and correct me if I'm wrong, Mary, because I haven't been to a training for a long time, or Dick, is that you have to have somebody at your town hall able to accept an application the hours that you're open.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
To me, that doesn't mean process it, just means accept it, but you probably have to process it within 24 hours.
Yeah.
But I also think that it's important for us to know in Hollis, and I know we've had COVID, but I'm going to open up this can of worms, that in 2024, the state did a list because they sent out additional reimbursements to the municipalities for their administrative costs, which usually are not reimbursed. Hollis was in the top 40 out of 400 municipalities. In 2025, we were in the top 20.
Yep.
So just to give you a little perspective on that we're on the page with Portland, South Portland, Augusta, Waterville, Bangor. You have Hollis with a population of 4,000 something. Our closest town, I think, was Brunswick, and their population's over 20,000. So I think that's something that probably needs to be looked at. So.
All right.
Was that all you had, Roger?
I think so.
Mike, do you have anything?
I do not.
Dick?
I'm set.
Anybody else for revamping?
Good evening.
Yeah.
I'm just kind of circling back to the compensation of the town employees. I know that there's been talk about looking at the medical insurance benefits, and perhaps if an employee decides not to take those medical insurance benefits, that they would get a portion of those premiums back as incentive to not be on the medical plan. Has that been talked about at all recently?
I think
I don't think we've talked about it recently. Other places that I've been employed, because I had military benefits,
Right.
we would get so much back a month because we didn't take the benefits and it wasn't the cost to the.
Right. I know that that's usually part of a cafeteria plan that companies offer, and I think that may benefit the town, especially since we spend $14,000 to $15,000 per person for medical and healthcare reimbursement. So if they offered a percentage of that back, perhaps they would get on their spouse's insurance or find their own plan. So I would like that to be considered for, if not this year, then next year.
Right.
Yeah, thank you.
I think, Bennett, when I first came back and I got the budget to do, I believe I broached that, but we didn't opt to do it, and that was, what, 2 years ago?
Yeah.
So I don't think we've brought it up since, until now.
Yeah. And maybe it would be helpful to ask the staff if they would be interested in something like that. I think I would be interested in something like that, but I maybe ask other employees to see if it would be something they'd agree to. It may save the town some money.
No,
Thank you.
something for thought. Think that's a note for you, Dick?
I'm learning it.
Anybody else? Is there anybody on Zoom that wants to have anything, or Martha?
You knew I was going to come up. I just saw this as an opening. There was talk about the previous fire study that was done, and I'm Martha Huff, by the way. And as Roger was correct, we paid big dollars to have that done 30 years ago, and then it was done again. This is a good push for you to remember. Those records need to come to the clerk. We have no copies of those studies, and you think of the money that was put out for those, but I have not seen that study in the clerk's records. So for everybody that's on a board or committee or whatever, if you have something important, it needs to go to the clerk's office so it gets filed, because that's going to be a great loss. And I'm not saying we should pay big bucks to have a fire study done again. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that the record's not there, which is too bad, because that was a thick document. He worked hard on it. And when I said my thank yous earlier, I need to thank my husband. I know he's watching, even though he's working. So I love you, honey. Thank you very much.
Awesome.
And that brings up another thing that somebody asked me about, was whether we're going to get the files out of the storage. Can we get our money back?
Oh. That's right, too.
Yeah.
That's another thing on the to-do list. Out of sight, out of mind.
Yep. And then, of course, we're still working on policy number 5. We haven't forgotten, Terry. Thank you for the information from Buxton. So we just need to work on that. And then some of the staff is going to be working on policy 3, which is use of municipal buildings, because they feel that we really need to update that policy so that we open it up to more individuals. It's maybe not birthday parties with 2-year-olds, but, because they really did enjoy the gathering on Sunday, so. Any last minute thoughts?
On that note, so Bennett, is our new website, would it have any type of meeting booking functionality to it? It does. That might be something a request to book this particular. Okay, that might be really neat. Really? She said we can recreate any form. That might be something we do too.
Anything else under other business from anybody? The floor is open. We did have an executive session earlier today with our legal department. Who wants to do upcoming town committee and board meetings?
There's a comprehensive plan meeting tomorrow, February 5th at 10 a.m. Where's that, Butch? Is that right here?
That's going to be right here in the little room.
At the community building.
Oh, it's going to be over here. Over here.
Over here?
Yeah.
Good. It's gonna be over here.
It's going to be over here, people. There's a planning board meeting and joint workshop with the select board next Wednesday, February 11th at 7 p.m. here. There's a sports complex committee meeting Thursday, February 14th, 7 p.m. over there. There's a select board meeting on Wednesday, February 18th, 6 p.m. here. There's a conservation commission meeting on February 19th at 5:30, and they're usually over there.
It sounds like, over there.
Over here.
But thank you.
It's cozy over there still.
Does anybody have any other announcements? Okay. Any public comment? Last call? All right, Jack.
I'll make a motion that we adjourn at this time.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Good night,
Thank you,
everyone.
everybody.
Thank you.
Stay warm.
Love you, Adeline. Yeah. I want this. I want this in my house.
Isn't that gorgeous?